Hey,
Peace, Tonez.
what's good, baby?
How you living?
I'm living, baby.
No doubt.
Yes, sir. Finally made it, man.
Thanks for joining me this evening.
No problem, man.
Shout out
Love's
to
love,
Mo
man.
Crazy for putting this together.
Hell yeah, that's my day one right there, man.
Good dude.
Solid.
We're going to let a few more people log on, and then we're going to get into it.
Okay, man. How's everything, man? Family good?
Blessed, man. Blessed. Just got through
Yes,
seeing
sir.
Mom's Mother's Day.
Hell yeah,
Everything's
definitely.
good. How about yourself?
Good, everything's good, man. New York, man. You know what I'm saying? Everything good out here.
No doubt. What's up, GQ? What's up, Shady Beats, all the way from London?
Yeah, what up, everybody? What's good? What's good? Hell yeah.
So we'll talk a little bit about the quarantine, and then we're going to get into your history because you got an extensive, lengthy discography and history and acting and everything. We're going to get into it.
I do a little bit.
Renaissance man.
Mm-hmm. Trying to be, man.
No doubt. How has life changed for you since the quarantine?
It's gonna sound bugged out, man, but to me it hasn't. Not much, because it hasn't changed much. Because like if I'm not like on the road or traveling doing stuff, I'm usually in the crib anyway. So the only difference is like I don't really go to bars and stuff like that. So I mean, you could sense it when you go outside, but it's not as much as bad as they made it seem on TV and on the news. The news got people thinking we in Tibet. I mean, not Tibet. We in World War X up in this motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? Matter of fact, like we are in Tibet. You know what I'm saying? Like so, but it's nowhere near as bad. You know what I mean? It's not good, but it's not like it's bad. But I've been good though.
Have things been loosening up over the past few days out that way?
Yeah, you know what I think they doing? I think it's happening like gradually and naturally. Like it's real slow. But I think what they're doing out here, which I don't know if it's a good or bad thing, but I think they don't want to just say, yo, it's cool, you know, because New York, everybody gonna go running out.
Right.
You know what I mean? And can get into some things. So I think what they're doing is I don't watch the news really like that. So I don't like watching all the death. You know what I mean? And they rarely talk about the people that's doing good and recovering and stuff. So, you know, I mean, it's slowly but surely becoming a little bit easier.
Anything you've learned about yourself during this time?
About myself?
Anything you've learned about yourself?
Oh man. I learned how long I could binge watch. Right. Like I could binge watch. Yo, I mean, I love TV and all that, but I didn't know I could watch like 4 days. You know what I'm saying? Of like 9 seasons or some shit back to back. You probably do. You was expecting some deep shit, probably, right?
No, not at all.
You know, I was gonna say, well, I felt like, us as black men, I feel like the cosmos. Nah, man, it was none of that. Right. I got a big Simpsons collection in my living room that I'll show you before I bounce. I learned how many, Simpson pieces I got in here.
Right.
Yeah. No, he's like going, damn, he's like, damn, I ain't know he was gonna talk about the Simpsons and Netflix.
No,
but yeah.
All good. Because I've been binging on Ozark, so
I gotta get up on that. I got like 25 joints I'm binge watching, man. So that Ozark, I've been hearing a lot about it, but I don't know much about it, but I'll probably check it out.
Yeah, you'll get into it and you won't want to stop. Yeah. So
well, it's trending all over the place and people keep saying it's a good thing, so I might check it out.
Right. Well, let's get into a little history about yourself. Tell us about where you're born and raised at.
Born and raised in the Bronx, New York, 1970. And basically, I was born. I want to kind of get into like my family structure a little bit.
Right.
So 5 boys, 1 girl. My sister's the oldest. My oldest brother, he got killed, murdered years ago.
Sorry to hear that.
And then there's 4 of us left, and just and my mom's and pops and shit. So it was just a house, like it was just mainly just two females and the rest of dudes. So you can only imagine. But it was good though, man. It was good in the sense of like the music part of it, because that's all I was playing in the crib.
What was the day in the life of Tonez growing up?
Me, cartoons, hanging around my mom's. I'm a mama's boy. I'm the youngest out of everybody, so hanging around my mom's a lot. School I went to just to get out of the crib because there was some crazy stuff going on there that I don't want to really get into that. And music, man. Once the music hit, it was like I was hooked on it. And I'm not even talking about from hip hop because I got into that later. It was more or less like the typical, like, in our families, Jackson 5, stuff like that. But then I even started getting into Aerosmith and shit like that. I started hearing all kind of other things that I was like Janis Joplin and everybody that I got into, as well as the the usual suspects like the James Browns and Arethas and everybody.
So about what age can you give us a time frame of getting into music?
Getting into it, like interested in creating it?
Just your influences earlier on.
I was probably like 8 or 9. And I remember, and I'm just going to get into the hip hop part because the music that I listened to before that, it didn't make me want to do it. I was just in love with it. But as far as hip hop, it was probably when we're talking about my brother Special K during this. He had came home with a cassette, and it was a cassette of him and Mo in L.A. as a Treacherous 3 performing somewhere, and I didn't know what it was. So I was just asking him, like, yo, why are y'all screaming? Like, why are y'all yelling on the mic? Because all I heard, oh, and like, it wasn't like too much. It wasn't like a whole lot of bars and lyrics. It was, but it was more the crowd participation. And then I remember when I heard that, man, I don't know. So it just did something to me. I just got hooked on it right away. So it was mainly at a young age, to answer your question a little further, it's like at that back then, it was mainly just about the music. And then when hip hop came, that was it. It was like 99% that, 1% schoolwork and food. You know what I'm saying? Everything else is just hip hop.
So how did you go about getting involved? Did you go up to your bigger brother and tell him to put you on and show him the ropes, or how did you get involved with making music?
Nah, what I did was I started writing rhymes in like the 6th grade, and K had more of a studio set up in his room because we lived. It was a 2-family house. And my mom's was on the bottom, and my brother, they took the upstairs. I was still downstairs with my mom's because I was still going too little. And Kay was upstairs, and he had a 4-track beat machine and all of that stuff. And so my other brother T, he had more of the DJ equipment. So he was doing the DJ stuff, and Kay was doing the trying to record and stuff. So one day I snuck in there, man, and I recorded some lyrics over probably a Beastie Boy or LL instrumental or something. And my oldest brother June, when he was still living, he heard it. And he went and told Kay, yo, you ain't hear what Tone did? Yo, he little, but he good. And so Kay called me in the room, and he was like, I said, yo, man, you did that? And I was like nervous because I thought I was gonna get in trouble. And he was like, yo, how did you recorded that? I was like, yeah. He said, you ain't had nobody in my room? I was like, nah, it was just me. He said, yo, and I went, what? He said, look, man, the next time you want to come in here, just ask. That was it. And so I was in there all the time and just started writing rhymes and recording. I ain't let nobody hear it though. It was just me. Because I was real shy back then, so I didn't even let a lot of people hear it. But that's when I got caught up in the whole wanting to put my voice on records and stuff. And I was a little kid then, man.
So what was next after this point? What kind of dues did you pay before you got noticed, and how did you form the group style?
Man, me and this dude that lived across the street, his name was Jose. We started a little crew, and we used to play the little block parties around the way. And well, we were just trying to compete with or trying to be down with, the Treasure 3, Cold Crust, the Force MCs before they was the Force MDs, Funky 4, because Keith lived right up the block in Cedric Projects. So it was like I was surrounded by all of them, and we were just trying to compete with them. So we used to try to just do shows and stuff. And me being a shy dude, like every time there was time to grab the mic, man, I was like mad shook. You know what I mean? And I remember the first time I really did it. It was in Nelson Park, and I'm in my crib. Somebody knocking on the window. I look at these 2 white dudes looking like real scruffy and shit. And I'm like, damn, you're in the Bronx. I'm like, damn, two little white scruffy dudes here. And so I called my mom. I said, "Mom, there's some white dudes that, you know, you literally like white people at the door." My mom comes out and they was asking for K. And I was like, I said, "K, who's that?" And he said, "Don't worry about it," right? And so whatever. So there was a block party at Nelson Park around the corner. And I was too little. I wasn't supposed to go around the corner, but I snuck out and I went around there. And I seen the two white dudes with everybody from the block, and everybody was all love though. Nobody was like treating them different. But he was rapping on the mic, and I'm like, yo, who the fuck is this dude? You know what it was? MCA from the Beastie Boys.
Oh, word.
And the other dude was Rick Rubin.
Wow.
Wow, you know what I'm saying? I mean, I found that out like afterwards. So I got on the mic, man, and did my thing and shit. And after that, I figured if he could do the shit, you know what I'm saying, in the hood, then I could do it.
Was Def Jam popping at this time?
Yeah, they did the I think they had just put out, I forgot their first single. I knew about the License to Ill album wasn't out yet. I don't think it was.
Okay.
No, it wasn't out yet, but they had the Fight for Your Right or some shit like that. One of them songs they had that was out, but it was sort of buzzing, but it wasn't buzzing like that yet.
So we're talking about 85, 86?
Something like that, yeah.
Okay.
And so anyway, those are the dudes I was paying. I was just doing that, writing routines, the cassette, making the mixtapes and shit, and just writing, man. And I never got a chance to get in the studio until later on, but I was like pre-thinking like, yo, I'm gonna get in there one day, because it was always like each step was a goal. It was like, okay, well, first I'm gonna learn how to write rhymes, which it just came to me, and then it was okay. Now I want to rock the mic, because it was more about rocking the shows, rocking the mic more than recording,
right?
At least for me, you know. So those are the dudes I was paying, like just running around trying to get little block party things. It wasn't like clubs. I was too little, so little shorty want to grab the mic, so I was doing a lot of that.
How did Select Records come into the picture?
Wow, damn. It's funny because I actually shopped the deal with Select. Me and my man DJ Holiday, he took me down there, and I shopped the deal with the kid Jose I was rocking with, and this girl named Sexy L, this girl named Lisa, and we had a little group. I don't even say the name, man. But we had a little group. All right, fuck it. We were called the Mystical MCs.
That's all right.
It is all right, but it just brings back memories.
Okay.
So yeah, I took the tape down there to Select, and keep in mind I'm a little kid, man. I don't know, so I'm in there with my man Holiday, and we playing it, and the melody of it was because my brother K produced it. The melody was the melody from the circus. So, and we had this little hook or whatever. And so the president of Select was like, nah, we can't use it because it sounds too much like Houdini. I was like, Houdini? What are you talking about? But so they had funky beat. So their thing was right. Thing was it was just, so me, what? Fuck you, stupid. Like I'm yelling, screaming. Like my man Holiday's like, yo, chill, Tone, like relax. I'm like, nah, man, fuck this dude. He don't know nothing, and he don't know. I'm just flipping on him and shit, right? Little did I know, a couple of years later, I'd be, up there. But I'll tell you what happened. I signed a deal with these crooks, called Sin-seer Productions, and signed a production deal, which is the worst thing any artist could ever do, especially back then. I signed a production deal, and that's when I met Hollywood from the Hollywood Impact, who produced Twin Hype, King's Son, LA Star, and he did stuff for the freestyle group called Sweet Sensation. Like he did a lot of stuff, and so we recorded an album. We recorded the In Tone We Trust album and shopped it. And so it was a bidding war between Tommy Boy, Next Plateau, Wild Pitch, did I say Profile already? Profile, Select. I forgot, maybe 2 or 3 more labels, and Select was the one that wound up paying the most. Now, back then, $90,000 was a shitload. Right now, $90,000 is like, That ain't nothing to do now. Still something to me now, but back then it was almost like, oh shit, we even got into the Billboard magazine as uh, the highest independent contract, the amount of money, the budget. And it was me and my boy DJ McNice, and we formed Style. I forgot to tell you that. Mick lived up in the projects, same project with Keith. For those who don't know, DJ Chubby Chub, who DJs 50 Cent, he from there too. These are all like extended family. So we formed Style, but I didn't come up with the name Style. I'm gonna tell you how I got that name, because it was just Tony Tone and DJ McNice, like Jazzy Jeff Fresh Prince, you know, that kind of thing. So a guy named when we finally signed with Select, which we didn't get hardly none of that 90,000, but that's another hip hop horror story. You know what I'm saying? Q-Tip was right. Record company people are shady. And so we after we recorded that the album, we took it over there, and I was like, yo, DJ Tony Tone, DJ McNice, that's our name. But it was like, nah, you gotta come up with a. So this cat named Greg Rouse, who worked there. He passed away a few years ago, unfortunately, but Greg was the one who came up with that. Right? And then when it came to the artwork and logo, a woman named Amy Benedict, she did the artwork, but she came up with that symbol with the, I don't know if it was a male, one of them, I don't know, some symbol she came up with, which was real cool. And that's how the name Style came. I hated that shit.
Really?
Hated it, man, because I've been Tony Tone for so long, right. And I'm walking down the block, you get your little video music box love, and you get your MTV Raps love, so you want to walk up and down the block and get recognized, and everybody's screaming out Style. I was like, oh man, I hated that shit. But that's how the name came out. You know what I'm saying? And we wasn't that at first, and we had issues with not issues, but we had a little something with Naughty by Nature, because when they first came out, they were called the New Style. Right. And they was on TV, but I didn't know that though.
Right.
And so I ran to Vinny. We all cool to this day. We all cool. But I ran to Vinny one day at this event, and he kept saying, "What's up, Style?" And I was like, "Is he trying to make fun of the name because the way he was saying it?" And then I found out when he told me. He said, "Yo, that was our name. We was called the New Style." I was like, "Nigga, I know y'all from OPP, motherfucker. I don't know nothing about New Style shit."
Right.
So anyway, that's how that name came up, and that's how I got the deal with Select. We shopped the deal to a whole bunch of labels, and they're the one that picked it up.
What was that contract like with Select? One album deal or?
Nah, it was a 5-album deal. That the first one was for 90, and then the next album, each album goes up 15,000. Sound good, right? Still wasn't getting none of that shit. But remember, we signed through a production company. So when we went down to get the bread and signed the contract, which ain't no lawyer. Keep in mind, I'm a kid then. I wasn't even supposed to sign it, to be honest with you. Anyway, so I went down there and I signed it. We was waiting for the check, and I got like $8 grand out of that shit.
Wow.
But $8 grand back then was like, what? I'm taking cabs, I'm taking cabs everywhere. You know what I'm saying? Like, so the contract was a shitty contract, and like I said, it was a production deal. They charged us for everything, bro. Like, we were signed to this place for like at least a year before we got that deal. And they were, oh, sure, we'll give you petty cash. Sure, you could use the studio anytime you want. Yeah, you want to mail something, we'll mail it for you. We like, oh shit. They even had a car service called Elite Car Service, and you could take that shit anywhere. All that shit was adding up. So they showed us the bill of what we owed. Bruh, they were charging us for paper clips, man. Rob was blind, yo. Well, I mean, you probably thinking, well, you didn't run it up, but we didn't run it up like that. Like, right. It wasn't as much as they said. So anyway, that's how that happened with and when we signed that deal, I just signed it blindly. I was just so happy to be in the mix. I just signed that shit. I said, fuck it.
Take Me Back to What a Brother Know. Was that your first choice as a single?
That was the last song on the album. The last one. And every song we recorded was on there. I don't when I record stuff, I don't do that, record 30 songs and then pick